I'm just gonna measure this right now and then jump down and cut it. Check this out. This was a little bit tricky because of how it is. So what I'll do is I wanna come from there, right? Put my tape on that timber, come this side right here. Plasterboard is gonna go in here, so that's 10 millimeter of plasterboard. But I wanna give it 5 millimeters so the plaster actually goes on. You know, I'm gonna go 645 tight. It's gonna be tight today. I wanna measure from that down, and I wanna go on the bottom of this. Except I'm not gonna go tight with this. I'm gonna add on 5 millimeters so that it does fit, because I need it to be tight up there, and I need it to be tight on here because I still gotta hang this right here, right? 645. That's tight to this, and my measurement there is 260. Tight measurement is 255, but I added on 5 millimeter, so I can definitely push it up if I need to push it up, right? Now I need to know my length of the wall. I'm gonna go this way, right? Making sure that my tape is nice and straight. It's important that it's straight. I wanna measure that, come to the corner, and what I wanna do there is I wanna take off 5 millimeters, 49.70. So that's 49.75, take away 5, 49.70. That's how big I want that piece to be. I'm gonna get something to write on like this. I'm gonna write down all my measurements, right? I got 645, right? That's from the bulkhead to the end of it. I've got 2, see how I write it down this way, 645 that way because it's this way. My down measurements, we got 260, which is, I'm gonna write there like this, 260. Because it's my down measurement. 650 goes that way, 250 comes down. My full measurement, 49.70. So the full measurements were 49.70. Mark it on there right there. Throw my mark, touching, pressure on the bottom, cut it with a sharp blade, come up, finish. Put a T-square sitting downwards. It has to be sitting this way because if it goes that way and it falls and it didn't, if you come to put on the plasterboard, if this part is not nice and straight, any bit of an angle is gonna ruin your measurement. Cool. Now I'm gonna measure and cut that bulkhead, right? Because I couldn't do it before. The situation I was in, it wasn't gonna work. 645. I'm gonna mark my 645 right there. I'm gonna come down 260. My tape and my knife. Sit it on. Make sure it's sitting on 260. Right there. I'm happy. I'm gonna trace that line, come back to the end, and scroll that line through. I'm gonna get my T-square, sit it on my mark right there, and just cut that line. I'm gonna cut that off by cutting it into a V on the part that I don't need. Cut it like that. Go through 1 time, 2 times, it will break, and cut it. That makes sense, right? Good. Oh, what's the corner? What's the glue as well? It's very heavy. Make sure that I'm tight on the ceiling. I'm gonna screw when I'm happy. Check that there for now. I don't wanna go right into the corner of it. I wanna come about 50 millimeters because if I screw in that corner, that's gonna break, and that's a problem, right? Everything is screwed, everything is checked. Now I'm gonna do my bottom move quick. Very straightforward, standard. I'm gonna go tight to this corner over here, so I wanna start from that corner. I wanna see my tape in that corner right there, just like that. And I wanna measure 1080 in the center of the pipes. 1 meter 80, write it down. I've got 1175 right in the center of it. Make sure I'm good. My full length of the entire wall that I'm hanging, I'm gonna stop on this door right here so I don't have to trim anything. I got 2400, 2415, I'm gonna go 2405. 405. The height of my pipe, exactly the center of it. Make sure the tape is nice and straight. I'm gonna go 6. What we got there? 615, right? Perfectly in the center. I wanna double check my other pipe to make sure that it's sitting the same way. 615 is okay. I'm gonna go 615 for both pipes. This is a renovation, so I don't think anything is where it should be. So I'm gonna double check for my piece to see if 1200 is gonna fit. Right there, 1210 is okay, so we might get away with it. But I'm gonna come check this side to see if I might be okay as well. 1210, 1205, I'm lifting it off the ground, so I won't have to trim that 1200 piece. That's very good. I've got this big ass wire here that I need to bring out because that's the only power we have. So I'm gonna get the middle of that, right? 480, right? 480, come off everywhere you go tight to is where you measure from. That's why I was measuring from here, because I gotta make sure that joint is tight. So I measure from anywhere I'm gonna go tight to. I'm gonna go tight to the joint, I'm gonna come down from the joint, and I wanna measure that right there. I got 9, 10. To the center of that wire, 9, 10. I'm gonna write everything down, and I write down like this, look. I got my pipe. So pipe, I write P equals, this is the system that I came up with, so I know those are pipes. I've got pipe and power, but PowerPoint is for the P. I know exactly what I'm doing because the system that I created for myself. I do this all the time, so I know what's going on, right? You can come up with your own way, it's up to you, but this is how I do it, and I recommend it. Pipe, I've got 480. The height measurement is 910. I wrote 910 because it's coming down, 480 is going across. I got everything I need. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. I'm gonna go find an off cut because you gotta use off cuts, right? I'm gonna come over here, and I think this might be a suitable candidate for what we're trying to do. Now, I'm gonna mark everything. I got my 480 on the bottom, so I'm going to the bottom, right? This line tells me that's 800, so 900 will be somewhere here, right? 910, so 480, mark that. I know my pipe is a 600. This line is a 600. I know this because this is possible that I use all the time. So I'm gonna go at 600. I've got 1080, right? 1175, just like that. My full length is 2405, just like that. I won't cut anything yet, but I'm gonna get my height. 615 right there. I'm gonna mark that right there like that, right? I'm gonna come down here and mark my 910. Now when I'm happy there, I'm gonna trace all my lines. I've told you how to do this. You should know how to do this already. But if you don't know, I'll explain one more time. You wanna get your pencil, hold your pencil on your tape and hold it like that. Make sure you're holding your pencil against the tape. When I'm happy, I'm gonna hold my tape like that. I wanna go to my lines and I wanna make sure the tape can move up and down. I've marked everything so I know where that line is, right? So when I'm sitting my pencil on my line right there, I'm gonna lock that tape in by holding it like this, right? Holding it where the line is, where my pencil is. I got it locked in, it won't move. And all I'm doing is just tracing that line through like that. I'm gonna come down here and do the same thing. Because this measurement is not on 610, I need to let go this side, continue holding, bring that tape down, lock it in at 910, and trace that line like that. Now, with my T-square, I wanna make sure I'm sitting nicely, and I just wanna trace these lines on my mark that I just marked right there. That one there, get it exactly where it should be. Come down here, get it exactly where it should be. I'm gonna come over here and cut my full length. Cool. I usually have hole saws with me that I use to cut these holes out, right? But I don't have the hole saw with me today. So I'm gonna just use my knife. I know roughly how big that pipe is. So I'm gonna try to get that pipe nicely. Right? You can always get closer and trim it some more. It's very easy to do this, but it would definitely be a lot easier with the hole saw. That's like that. Trace that. That's like that, right? The piece is cut. I'm gonna take it now. 300, 300. Get that. That's it. Finished. I'm gonna get my plasterboard and I'm gonna sit it where I needed to sit it. That pipes, on the other hand, should fit nicely. I'm gonna sit it there. Look at that. Look. If they don't fit nicely, we'll trim it. Yeah. Yeah. Right, I got my pipes right in there. Fantastic, right? Now, you can definitely use blue board on here. I recommend using blue board, but I can't get to my blue board because of a certain situation. It's only 2 pipes. It's gonna get covered by cupboards. That should be okay. I can't find my shit lifters, so I gotta go old school, right? Really easy. Gotta push the plaster onto the joint, make sure it's tight. Get comfortable. You gotta look at that joint, make sure it's nice and tight. Just easily push it up against that right there. Make sure I'm gonna cover in the internal over there. If I can't really get to that, I'm gonna put a screw right here just to hold it for me. I wanna turn sides and come this side. Just lift it up. Once I'm happy there, I'm gonna screw it. Right? In the corner, I wanna do it like this. 1200, I put 2 screws in the middle. Right? So I wanna go 400 800 0 0. 400 800 0. I want to put a dope here, here. Plus, it's not big enough for me to put a screw anyways. I want to make sure I know where I'm screwing. So I'm going to kind of mark that. Just like that. Cool. See that right there? We know where it's at. See, I wasn't meant to hang that because I was meant to put this on first. So I'll just quickly take off 10 millimeters so it does go up. Because I've added on 10 millimeters from the wall. I'm going to quickly get that off. Got it from this side too. Both sides. It should snap off exactly right there, and it should just peel off, but it didn't. It's okay. All right, now we're gonna put it up. If I'm happy, I'm gonna screw where it's at. I've marked everywhere where I need to screw. I'm gonna go screw there, screw there. Now, once that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and screw it properly, right? That day is done. Because I'm gonna come back and hang this wall, hang that face over it, put an extend on it, do the square set, make it look gorgeous and beautiful. But that's pretty much the basics of it. It's like a movie, bro. There's like scenes and shit. Link in the description. What?